Ever wondered why securing funding for your business feels as challenging as finding a single grain of sand in the Sahara Desert? No, just me then. Imagine, if you will, that you're an explorer in the vast, unpredictable wilderness that is the business landscape. You're equipped with a grand idea, a sturdy plan, and a burning passion, but you're missing one crucial tool: the funding. It's like trying to start a campfire without firewood. You might have all the enthusiasm in the world, but without those essential logs, you're left shivering in the cold. Now let's talk about this grain of sand. It's not just any grain we're talking about. Oh no, it's a golden grain of sand. And this desert, it's not your average Sahara, it's a maze of colossal dunes, each one larger and more complex last. Navigating this maze can feel like a Herculean task. But fear not, O brave explorer, for you are not alone in this journey. Now that we've established the struggle, let's dive into the pool of funding options, shall we? Spoiler alert, it's not as refreshing as you think. Ever heard of the saying, too many cooks spoil the broth? Well, in the world of funding, we have too many options that can spoil your sanity. Let's start with venture capital, the sharks in the financial fish tank. They swim around in their expensive suits, looking for fresh, promising businesses to sink their teeth into. They can sniff out potential from a mile away, and when they find it, they're ready to invest big. But be warned, these sharks want a piece of your business in return. They're not just handing out free fish food, they're buying a ticket to your show, and they expect a front row seat. Next up, we have angel investors, the fairy godmothers and godfathers of the business world. They're successful entrepreneurs who've been through the grind and made it out the other side. They're ready to sprinkle some of their magic cash dust on your venture. But remember, fairy godparents don't just grant wishes willy-nilly. They need to believe in you, your idea, and your potential to make it big before they'll wave their magic wands. Then there's the classic bank loan, the high-interest love affair of the funding world. It's like dating someone who's way out of your league. At first it's all roses and candlelit dinners, but then the interest kicks in, and you're left wondering why you ever swiped right. Sure, banks can offer large amounts of money, but remember, they're not your secret admirer. They want their money back with interest. Finally, there's the microfinance, small loans, big dreams. These are local community-based programs that offer small loans to help you get started, but they require a solid business plan. So, you see, funding isn't just a walk in the park, it's more like a roller coaster ride with a blindfold on. Now let's debunk some myths about funding, shall we? Or should I say, let's burst some bubbles. First off, the grand illusion that all businesses need external funding. It's like believing that all British people love tea or all dogs love bones. Not every business needs to rely on external funding. In fact, many successful businesses have been built from the ground up, using only their founders' savings, a dash of sweat, and a sprinkle of determination. Next up, the myth that the best funding option is venture capital. It's like saying the best way to travel is by private jet. Sure, it's glamorous and fast, but not everyone needs that, right? Venture capital can be a great option for some businesses, but it's not the only game in town. For many, other funding options like grants, loans, or even good old-fashioned bootstrapping might be a better fit. Then we have the tall tale that getting a bank loan is impossible. It's like suggesting that finding a needle in a haystack is easier than getting a bank loan. While it can be challenging, it's definitely not impossible. Banks are in the business of lending money after all, and with a solid business plan and a clear financial forecast, you might just find that banks are more approachable than you think. Lastly, the fable that crowdfunding is only for the cool kids. It's like believing that only rock stars can play the guitar. Crowdfunding is for anyone with a great idea and the drive to make it happen. It's not about being cool, it's about being compelling. If you can convince people to believe in your vision, crowdfunding could be your ticket to success. So there you have it, folks. Funding myths debunked and bubbles burst. The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to funding. You've got to find what fits your business best. Myths busted. Remember, what works for one may not work for another. Funding is not a one-size-fits-all hat. So, we've laughed, we've cried, we've busted some myths. Now let's wrap this up with a nice little bow. We've journeyed through the African savanna of business funding, dodging the lions of loan sharks and the baobab trees trade credit, and navigated the Nile of grants, all in the name of entrepreneurial spirit. We started with the fiasco of funding. Remember the tale of the eager entrepreneur who dove headfirst into a pool of shark-infested interest rates? Or the one who took the first loan offer that came there only to realize they'd signed up for a marathon with a backpack full of bricks? Then we plunged headlong into the frenzy of funding, the rush of chasing down every opportunity like cheetah hot on the heels of a gazelle, the exhilaration of securing a deal, and the when it slips through your fingers, it's a roller coaster ride and you're strapped in for the long haul. In our third act, we delved into the fables of funding. We heard tales of businesses that soared on the wings of angel investors and others that crashed and burned in the desert of debt. We learned that not all that glitters is gold, and sometimes what seems like a mirage may just be the oasis you've been seeking. And now, our finale. After all what's a journey without a destination? Whether you're an entrepreneur in the bustling streets of Lagos, the windswept plains of the Serengeti, or the vibrant markets of Marrakesh, know this: the road may be long and winding, but there's more than one way to reach the summit. So keep your eyes on the prize, your hand on the wheel, and your foot on the gas. Don't be afraid to take a detour or two, and remember, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And there you have it, folks, the mad, mad world of business funding. Just remember, the struggle is real, but so are the solutions. Keep your chin up, your options open, and your sense of humor intact. Until next time, cheerio.